Um, and I have been a school teacher for 3 years. I've taught math, science, English, history. I'm a jack of all trades, and I just really love what's going on right now in the world with this technological revolution and evolution. But we forget sometimes that AI has been around. I did a presentation yesterday about just safeguarding AI, but now I want to talk about the tools so that we can make it more advantageous for all people in our communities that we do serve, whether it be students, staff, or faculty, or just individuals who you might meet in passing. This presentation will be ending around 11:45 for grace for you all to ask questions. I really wanted to introduce all of these things. We'll be talking about how to use it, what is it, the TAMU resources that have been coming about, the NAIR pilot resources. I will also be showing you how you can register for access if you want to, and just how to integrate this into the classroom if you choose to. If you have any questions throughout this talk, please feel free to come off of mute. All questions are powerful, and this is a free space. I want everyone to feel encouraged to be themselves and be bubbly and just want to know everything that's going on because I want to share. But I'm grateful to be here. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. I just got to do the couple of quick that housekeeping right at the beginning, and then I am gonna back off.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Courtney Nagel. I'm going to be the Zoom host, which mostly means that I'm going to be manning the chat. And as Miss Jory just said, if you wanted to come off mute and everything during, you can. But I will also be keeping track of the chat, so at the end I can convey questions. This is a reminder. Okay, you just indicated. Okay, if you've got a question and you don't want to go in and interrupt, there is a raise hand feature, which is in the reactions icon at the bottom, or you can type your question. Please be aware this presentation is being recorded and will be available for viewing after the conference. Live transcriptioning has been enabled. You can turn it on or off using the live transcript feature. You can change the view by clicking on the view button in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. We recommend the speaker view so you can see our lovely speaker besides the screen share. At the close of the presentation, I will be putting an assessment survey in the chat box. Please fill out the survey for each session you attend. And now I'm going to hand it back to you, Miss Jory. Go for it.
Thank you, Ms. Courtney. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you, everybody, for your time, attention, and patience. And remember, this is a free space. So I wanted to begin with talking about what exactly is AI. I know most of you already know what it is. I just wanted to talk about it's a level of automation. And if you wanted to get a little more sense of what it exactly is, you can watch this video by the National Science Foundation. It's really a system that's inference based. It's predictive. It's going to be predicting the next word that's most commonly used. So it's almost like an algorithm, and each algorithm can be a little bit different based on who wrote it. But what we are talking about today is the advantageous, all the items and the technology and the resources they've been giving you to be successful in this time with this industry as it moves forward. As I discussed yesterday, I believe that us as librarians, especially in the TAMU system, we should be creating an AI policy that can be a blanket policy for all Texas A&M universities in the system. So that way we can better help integrate AI into the classroom, but also help researchers do really wonderful research as we move forward into this technology advancement and evolution. Just to go over the LibGuide a little bit, and I'm going to be sharing this with you in the chat. And each time I switch a page, I'll put in the chat as well. This is the home page, just to give you a little bit more information. It talks about the ABCs of AI and everything you would probably need to know about getting started and hoping really win that buy-in from your faculty, student, and staffs, and just teaching them the basic needs they need to know about accessibility, bias, and the critical thinking aids that AI can provide. I have also put in links for each tab, so just to make it very easy to navigate. So you can either look at what is AI, how to use it, the TAMU resources, the NAIR pilot resources, the integration into the classroom, the presentation I did yesterday about navigating with generative AI, for research. And this can be a presentation that you use. I am so open to everyone using anything. Using this for your own student, staff, and faculty to help with that buy-in. It also talks about citations for AI. If you want to show citations for AI in your academic integrity courses that you may teach, and then a research and instruction survey if you wanted to take it. We're going to go ahead and start with how to use artificial intelligence. So prompt engineering is the best and easiest thing, but then also you have deep learning and neural networks. Yes, you have to train these AIs, and that's that deep learning. You want to train them with data that's already been collected, and you're training the AI so that way, whenever you start to query and put in questions, that predictive language and those predictive algorithms will help answer questions based on what you've already fed it. I think it's really important as we move forward for us TAMU librarians to create our own chatbot, to create our own assistants, and something that would not only give other researchers an aspect to ask all these wonderful, good questions that so they can adhere to policies and procedures within the system, but also so they can know important information that adheres to the ACRL and the ALA so that we can better serve them as information professionals. With that, I'm going to go ahead and start with the NAIR pilot first. I'm not going to read everything on the screen, but I'm going to ad-lib a little bit just so you know exactly what it's about. NAIR is a wonderful resource. NAIR is the National Artificial Intelligence Research Resource, for America, not North American continent, but just for America. The administration that's going on now, they want Americans and our country to be on the forefront of generative AI. They want us to be on the forefront of innovation in all different industries, subjects, and disciplines, whether it is private or in the public sector. So they have created a wealth of information and knowledge along with many different collaborative training seminars, um, televised and pre-recorded sessions to help researchers really capitalize on everything that's being offered to them for free. And I'm going to say that again, for free, everybody. These things are free. And without knowing these things, you're at your own disservice. It's like when we were students, right? And we didn't know the library had all of our books and we were buying books. Or we didn't know that we could scan the pages that we need for free copyright and fair use law, right? We didn't know that we could do that as students. And so with this, I want everyone to know it's not just about STEM, it's about all of us. Because you might just be that information professional who has that tenacity and the technology or the technological skill to produce your own chatbot and AI, or to help present this knowledge to researchers at your university to get this big feat done in a small amount of time. So it holds a lot of potential to really accelerate discovery and innovation. It's really trying to help solve global and critical challenges. For instance, when I was at the at the NAIR pilot in Washington, D.C., at the beginning of this year, they were showing how someone, based off the models that were already done, there built a chatbot to identify bugs and invasive species and learning how to treat these animals and treat the plants as well as these invasive species come and cause disarray in the ecosystem. This is wonderful for agriculture majors. This is wonderful for the agriculture industry. This was actually sponsored by, I believe it's the USDA, the United States Government Food and Development Agency and stuff like that. So these are things that doesn't just touch the educational realm, but it touches everything that we know it as our system of America, right? I even met some researchers doing scans on different brain scans or heart scans and trying to find a different algorithm or find so much different data from the census and the national data that we have to compare with these slides so that researchers could be saying, okay, well, does this really help with identifying problems that humans may miss in these X-ray scans? I even met an Aggie on the plane. Her mother was a dentist hygienist, and she uses AI to look at the teeth and look at certain cavities or caries that might be in the teeth that you can't see, or that it can predict when they will be forming sooner than what a dentist can, so they can have more preventative treatment. These are the wonders of AI, and these are the wonderful things that we can do. And they've given us the tools to make our own. You just have to have an innovative mind and be ready to do it. So what is the NAIR pilot? Anybody can sign up for it, whether you're STEM or not. I would encourage every librarian to make sure you have this on your list. They give travel funding, they give grants for you to be there. I've been a recipient of multiple travel awards, and I'm very blessed to have been there because it's opened my mind to so many different things, and it's also helped me to help my students here at Prairie View A&M University. I forgot to say that I work at Prairie View. I'm the art and architecture librarian. Hey, I forgot to say that. But it's just such a wealth of information, and it's such a wonderful thing. And they have AI related infrastructure resources. So with like computational abilities, data sets, pre-trained models, software systems, and they will train you on how to use it if you don't know how to use it. All you have to do is get in an information session. And if you want to learn how to train your own models, they will do that for you. So it's such a wonderful thing that you can be a part of without even knowing too much about it. It has the ability, you can apply for access to really advance your computing. So they will have a supercomputing campus at Relish, but they also have a virtual one where you don't even have to be present. And it's through Access and ACES and a couple different things that we own. And I'll show you how to get through that in just a moment. But you can get these GPUs and CPUs to run this big data in like almost a closed sandbox area. And for my non-STEM people, I've just learned about this too. A sandbox is almost like a software platform where you can open up packages, right? Things that come through the internet in a secure environment, whether you know what it is or not, to really play with it to either advance something to build or to safeguard and protect against viruses and other malware that may be present in packages that come to you. So a sandbox is really like a playground. And this big sandbox, it can store your data. You get these CPUs and these GPUs for free. You can learn how to code in these platforms. You can learn how to get Claude or work Claude. There's so many different types of AI that they have offered. They have the whole AWS suite, the whole Google suite. They have all these other wonderful things. I think it was, what is it? It was it was something cuddle. The techie people know what I'm talking about, but something cuddle me something. We'll look at it. But Jupyter notebooks, everything you can think of to learn and automate your systems and to be more well versed, or even just to help students say, hey, if you need more practice in Jupyter notebooks before you become a professional, we have a whole free platform for you. It's just so much out there, especially with us being reference and research librarians. Some people might be different types of librarians, but I know that you're still serving a population. And imagine being able to show these students or show these instructors, hey, we have a whole platform. If you can't afford for everyone to have a user's license for this certain platform, look, we have it for free here. And you can already use it. Your students can be well trained on it. So when they get out of school with their degrees, they can find a job. I was one of those students. I graduated from Texas A&M in 2020 during the COVID year. Didn't get to walk the stage, but it's okay. I'm still an Ivy. I still love it, right? But it was so difficult because I didn't have a good sense of what the world was going to be like when I got out of college because it completely changed. We want our students to be prepared as much as possible and our researchers with with the growing change of, diversity in the systems, technology, infrastructure, automation, and just the difference in legislation and laws that are coming about right now in this day and age. Especially with the defund of the IMLS, who would have supported a lot of these projects. For instance, I was a reviewer for the IMLS for 2 cycles. And a lot of the projects actually helped to automate these museums and embed technology and really make it robust and rigorous to help these new exhibits to be really on the forefront of technology. So this is a wonderful thing. You never know how this can bless your university or your museum or whatever you do. We're going to keep going. So just a little background. The first phase of the NARE was really engagement. I was part of the second phase though. The first phase was a brainchild, sitting with NSF, sitting with researchers from all over the country who've been doing their work in cybersecurity or just in automation, medical science. You name it, they were there. There was a brain surgeon who I met. She was wonderful. She was really cool. But she was there for AI. Um, and this, there's a webinar if you want to look at it. The link is here. It was originally held February 21st of 2024. I was at the NARE pilot for the 2025 one in February. It continues to bring government supported and non-government resources together over phases to demonstrate how we can really be more robust and deliver these capabilities for US researchers, education, and just different educators in the community. So as we keep going, what they're really trying to do is run a pilot program, which is going on right now. They're saying, okay, if we give these people the resources, how sure are we that they can create something that would be advantageous to society? So what they've done is they've listened to the masses, they listen to the people, and they'll give you exactly what you need. If you tell them, I need this, I don't need that, I need more for art, humanities, or this, they may or they may not contribute more to it. They just need to hear the voices. When I spoke with the head of the outreach department for the National Science Foundation, she did want me to over excuse me, I'm forgetting the word, over or really duly explain that we really have to be careful with this because this is a National Science Foundation baby, but this is with the AI component. So yes, it doesn't have to be just for science. This is specifically for AI and it has to have an AI component if you do want to use their resources. So if you're not using their AI resources, it will not work out for you. I will say that. Moving forward, to prepare your near classroom, if you click these links, it's different resources for different types of needs. So they have resources specifically for educators and then specifically for researchers. If you do want to be an educator, for instance, here with the School of Architecture, I am, I am on a grant right now with Dr. Labib, and I'm going to be their evaluator for the course, and they're creating a new AI course for automation and architecture drawings for their lab that they're doing because we have a very big makerspace lab and a 3D print lab and things like that. It's called fabrication. And so they're trying to see how AI can be used in all these different fields. So they're giving out so much money, right? Whether it may be in grants for salaries or resources, or just in general, they're giving out tools, right? These GPUs, these CPUs to run big data and to see exactly how you can create new products. To do this, you have to put in a formal request, right? No longer than 3 pages. They really honestly want you to do it as small as possible. Honestly, they say they want 1 or 2 paragraphs. They do not want you to include any really personal or really too important information. They just want a real general, what do you want to do? How do you want to serve your community? And are you an educator? You do have to be a US-based educator. So I know we have a lot of schools in the system in different countries, but you do have to be here in the US, unfortunately. And whoever's being taught, they need to be in undergraduate or graduate courses, and the session can't go too long. If you do want to do stuff for public education, you just have to connect with the people. If you want to connect and do things and outreach for public libraries for people who are not undergraduate and graduate students, they do have tools for them. You just have to do a little legwork to talk to the right person to get exactly what you need. Um, the course and the training sessions must not allow people though who are not US citizens because this is a national pilot with government funded money just for US based people. You don't have to be a citizen, but you have to be based here. Because some of this is proprietary information that we don't want getting out into the world just yet because we want to be the forefront and the runners of this industry as it booms across the world. For this side, for the resources for educators, it talks about the eligibility It's okay if it's an academic institution or a nonprofit or a federal agency or state and local or tribal agencies, or even a startup or a small business. So my business librarians, if you know that we have students who are super inquisitive, super intelligent, and want to use the crafts that they're using here, in the TAMU system, you can tell them about this, right? You can tell them all about all these wonderful things. Maybe you know about people, your loved ones, small business people, different organizations who might need that pick me up. This is a wonderful organization to be a part of. Um, but these different resources are available and they have different rules, as I was saying before. So, you just have to contact the right people. Um, and they just want you to provide a really good email, your institutional email, unless you are like a privately funded organization or something like that. So the focus areas, they really want to focus on advancing AI, creating open source information, which is why I wanted to bring this to our platform because that's what we do. We're all about access. Open source has been the topic for the last 5 years, and I know that this is something, imagine open source technology, not an article, not a book. You get the whole Amazon suite, the whole Google suite. This is expensive. You get the whole, for my English people, the whole Claude suite. Amazing things. You don't have to pay for it. And this will help, develop large scale models with complex data sets, advance different integrations, allow for more experimental data, right? They want you to mess up. They will give you money to mess up and experiment and do these different things so you know, okay, this is what I need. This is what I actually need. This is what I actually need to do so I can revamp, right? Like they say, reduce, reuse, recycle, right? Revamp, recenter, engage again. Um, and for over here with the educators, they want it to be, there's no specific constraints for this opportunity, but there are, it's going to adhere more to, computer science, information science, machine learning, things like that, domain science courses, independent studies, and different things. Like, for example, I don't know if you know, Miss Perez. She's part of the TAMU system, and I'm going to get her name before all of this is over. Um, I'm gonna move this over. Sorry, y'all, that's my email. But Miss Perez, she's part of the TAMU system, and she is the person that I would recommend. Miss Lisa Perez. I would recommend y'all reaching out to her. She's the know all and be all of everything with access and all these resources that we have. And she has wonderful connections with Mayor. She's gonna be like, Jory, I can't believe you said that, but I did. You reach out to Miss Lisa Perez because she's a wonderful resource. She helps partner with different community colleges as well to put on wonderful examples and demos about how these new resources can be used through the TAMU system with your UINs or with your employee email identification numbers. For example, we did a whole seminar about using Jupyter Notebooks and learning Python and generative AI and deep learning, which was something that could be embedded into the classroom. Um, they want you to align with educational workload and development of focus, readiness to be planned, to have that institutional support. And then they also will match your resources. So if you're like, I have a little bit of money, but I need a little bit more, they'll help you. They'll match your money, which is so rare, right? Especially before people weren't even touching this. Now they're giving so much money for it. So this is a wonderful place and space to be in. And I'm going to share this link really quickly in the chat, just in case people want to follow along a little bit more. Then you have some domain specific areas as well for the researchers. They really want to just empower cancer treatment and individual health. So if you know with the public health, especially in College Station, they built that crazy public health school. As soon as I left, West Campus is dedicated all to the medical sciences, which I love, whether it may be veterinarian or humans. They want us to really, really empower people to see what can we do for medical advancement. I don't know if you've recently heard about the new opening a campus in downtown Houston. I met with the mother of a systematic review, right? The mother of systematic reviews. Um, she they have a new campus out there where you can get a medical degree and an engineering degree at the same time. Um, and this is like, and they're building prosthetics and everything like that. And this is an ongoing field. This is something that's going to grow. It's not going to stop, especially with cybersecurity and all this technology advancement. And I want us librarians to be on the forefront of this. As keepers of information, keepers of history, we have to know what's out there so we can help the masses really be all that they can be, right? If not, then what are we doing? So there's so many available resources. You have open data sets and open data models. I would recommend anytime you're on these LibGuides so that you don't use your place, please right click and open in a new tab. When you open in a new tab in there, I'll just click through the tabs in just a moment. You have open data models for everything. You pick your poison with this, where there may be documentation, data sets. You have some from NASA, where there might be models that you want to look at, like the geostats around the world from satellites, or whether you want something a little more secure, right, like medical imaging, or just other, right, with NASA and other responsible things, right, with toolkits. Um, they
Miss
have some
Tori, can
stuff
you
for,
zoom in a little bit
yes, ma'am.
so that we can see the screen a
Um,
little bit? Yes, that's much better. Thank you.
and so they have all these different, they have a training course and program if you want to learn a little bit. They have more data sets. They have stuff for documentation, NASA, and other secure training models. So this is for you to really feed and to help with the neural networks if you wanted to develop an AI. Then again, if you use the little 3 lines, you can look at current opportunities, research and resources. That link would have took you here. Just what I talked about, all the eligibility criteria, the focus, right? All of the resources that you can use, all the filters, right? It shows you Amazon Web Services, everything that you have access to. All you have to do is click and you can see everything. Oh, it was called Hugging Faces, is what it was called right here. But this is all that you have that's open to you for the free. So many things. And look at us right here. Look at us. They put us on the map because we're all fancy. So there's just so much that you can do, right? And it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It just gets better. And this is just for the resource request. All you have to do is submit a ticket, really short, quick, simple, sweet, and you attach. And that's all they want. They just want to know, what are you doing with it? Then if you go back over here with current opportunities, you can also look at your educational resources, right? If you want to do a classroom request, have for the classroom. You see Indiana University is really streamlining the race right now, and just different cloud platforms for health prototypes and different notebooks that you can use as well. And if you sign up early enough, or you help your researchers or instructors sign up early enough, they can get it for their whole classroom. Um, as you keep going and you keep looking, they have different startup project requests, right? And the eligibility requirements, the focus areas, and then it shows you all of things that you need to know for like the dates for the proposals and different things like that. Also, I will say, when you do put in these requests, please make sure that you follow up, because there is a backlog. Or if you would like to help with helping with reviews, it would help a lot with getting, because we are librarians, and I think we are the best people to review all of these proposals and stuff. It would really help the National Science Foundation streamline this process so that everyone can get their allocations as they need them. Um, Additionally, you have the open data models, as I showed you all before, and then different projects. If you're curious what's going on, how can I be a part of this conversation? They have so many demonstration projects of what has already been done. And so you can look and see what goes with what you're thinking, right? Maybe something has already been done, maybe it hasn't, right? Just Right here, sustainability modeling and managing for heterogeneous AI systems. That sounds pretty cool. I would love to look into that. They have other projects if you wanted to look at just resource allocations, who's been giving resources, what's going on, um, what are the awards that's been awarded? You can look at their abstract and the resources that they're using so that you can know maybe how to use them. Um, and just different things like this. You can look at the different fields in which they're being used. So maybe you're not in computer science. Maybe you want to look at specifically information science and analytics. I'm gonna go with that one because that's us, right? Maybe you want to look specifically at information science and analytics, and I'm going to submit. And you can see what they've been using for information science, right? They're trying to build large language models, right? A lot of people are talking about using predicted text for these automations with articles and helping to easily search through articles faster and just different things like this. So there's so much out there. And I don't know if y'all have ever heard Code for Lib. Code for Lib is a library technical conference where so it's on the frontier of AI empowered. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Um, and there's just so much going on, and you can pick your poison, whatever fits you. This may or may not adhere to what you need it to adhere to for you, but I do encourage you to put it into someone else's ear of who can help. Because, right, why learn information and knowledge if you're not going to share it? Um, and so then you can also look at project maps and just where these projects have been used all over the world and, or excuse me, all over the US and what type of classroom project, demo projects, or resource allocations. So there was one man at the pilot actually, and he was a classroom teacher, and he was just showing how AI really helped the students understand more with mapping their ideas and really helping them look at how they can use the AI to map, like, let's say things with like GIS, right? Or create different maps or different learning tools for their projects, which is super cool. And people never even think about this. Or for instance, I've been hearing a lot about from cybersecurity people, they help the students build the code and then they put it in AI as like either a fact checker or they ask the AI to create a code and they go and see if it's fictitious or if it'll break or if it's not real, because we have to look at the mis and disinformation. So there's wonderful ways that you can use these resources in the classroom to really help students become more successful. There is NAIR Secure, which is the Department of Energy and National Institutions of Health. If you want to do a very secure phase of learning, and it'll help you with privacy tools and securing whatever you're doing if it's something super, super serious and with sensitive data. So we are here for those sensitive cases as well. Um, and then just news and events, please stay up to date. Like I always tell my students, stay hungry. Always read 2 to 3 articles on whatever industry you want to be in, whatever you want to be a part of, whatever community you really want to, have a footing in. And it's important to be hungry. For example, there's now starting proposals, right? Proposals just started 2 days ago. You can look into it and see if something that you're thinking about is advantageous. You can see the new workshop resources. Like I told you, these workshops, they will pay for you to be there. It's okay if you're out of professional development funds, go and see what they can do for you. They will usually pay for your flight and your hotel. You will have to pay for your food. Sometimes usually they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner that they'll serve you. Um, and this is, and you might just have to pay for like your transportation there and back from the airport and stuff. But usually they actually set you up with rail passes, day passes, or like even little buddy passes wherever you're going. So usually they pay for everything just so you can get the knowledge and take it back to your institution. They encourage you to get the knowledge to take it back home. So please stay up to date. They have webinars excuse me, they have webinars all the time. They pre-record them and they post them. So please, please, please watch these webinars. They have a whole webinar on how to request resources. They want you to know. They have office hours, right? They have office hours. They have a place where you can go and get help as much as you need to monthly, right? And they give you the times and they let you know if they're subject to change or holidays and events and different things like that. So this is just so wonderful. And then they have a whole YouTube page and YouTube channel for any inconsistencies or ideas that you may have that may not have been fully conveyed, so that you can really understand what is consistent, what is the consistent information that's consistently being put out, because things, of course, are being updated. This was started in 2024 and it's 2025, and we're happy that we'll be moving into 2026 as well. So remember, this pilot won't be going on for that long. I think while they still have funding and it's still being funded with, all the budget cuts and the legislation and everything that's going on, capitalize on this while you can. Thank you, Ms. Courtney. Last but not least, if you need help, please submit a ticket or look at the frequently asked questions, and you can learn all about NAIR. I have this on the LibGuide as well. This is where I got the information from. I appropriated it exactly from the horse's mouth. And it tells you exactly what each resource is. And now we're going to go talk about ACES, which is a system that's supported by the National Science Foundation at the Texas A&M High Performing Research Computing Center. So we're going to be segueing into that now. I'm not going to go too much into it because we are all part of the Aggie family, and I did talk a lot about NAIR. But if you do have an allocation, you can always log into your NAIR allocation and see everything that they've already given you. To go back to my LibGuide, now I'm going to be talking about really briefly the TAMU resources, because I do want to respect your time and I do want to open up for questions. Here is that link for this page. So TAMU, love TAMU. I always say people, I don't know, TAMU I love that we have so much money at TAMU. I'm gonna be honest. I was a Regent scholar. They took me to Costa Rica and everything. I was like, thank you so much for my academic scholarship. So they have the money at TAMU and they want you to spend it. That's what I love about our endowments. That's what I love about our people at TAMU, because they want to make Texas A&M the best and greatest thing possible. Like they said, the sun never sets on the British Empire. The sun never sets on the Texas A&M's empire. And I just love that, right? I know, Miss Courtney, but it's true. Like it is what it is. But we try to make things better. Like especially our our what is it, our chancellor. I saw him at our just endowment and scholarship, our presidential scholarship fundraiser here at PV in Houston, and you could just see how he loves and he enjoys what he does. He does want positive change. He does want things to get better around the system, and he really is trying to help make things as palatable as possible. And that's all you can ask from Chancellor Sharp. And with all of this coming out, I love how he's encouraging and is so accepting of all different groups, and he wants Texas A&M to be the best and brightest it can, because he comes from the system. He came from the system. He went to Prairie View on his, not, he didn't go there, but he fellowshipped at Prairie View. He met the other students. He used to be head of the student government organization at TAMU, and he connected with the student government organization at Prairie View to really make sure we were fostering that community of sister schools, right? Making sure that everyone had what they need. And when he realized Prairie View didn't have everything they needed, he made sure to make sure we got the funding that we need. And he works so closely with Dr. Tamikla Grant. And I just can really appreciate the relationship that he has with our school here, because it shows how we really want everyone to grow. So I'll go into this. With this mission of this high performance computing center, it really helps enable research and discoveries in advanced sciences. Just what NAIR wants to do, it just does it from a computational and data-enabled research activity for all students and staff of the system, not just Texas A&M University. I love that this is a baby of Dr. Lisa Perez. She was also a doctorate of computer science for a very long time. She taught at Prairie View as well, and now she's taken herself out of the classroom to do outreach, where her personality is so bubbly and wonderful that you should really reach out to her. She's a wonderful connection. She'll help provide consultation and technical documentation and training to support you, right? We are training y'all. So get in here and get this training. So ACES is the platform that we use. It's really, really nice. It's a sandbox once again, and it has different levels of computing. Um, the project, it allows researchers to really develop in a creative environment with new models, and you have everything that you saw with the NARE resources you have as well as in ACES. Um, if you wanted to look at a video about applying for ACES, it's very, very, because we don't have that time and I want to wrap up in like 5 minutes. We don't really, excuse me, you can apply for allocations through ACES using Access and NARE, and they go and they coincide together as you saw on the NARE's website. So it'll be really short and sweet paragraphs just like before to access ACES through the system. I also want to talk about the training. They have a lot of micro-credentials, courses, and seminars available through the system. You can always right-click and open, and it'll take you to the website. This is their website for the supercomputing. I'm just going to go home real quick and put this in the chat for you all if you wanted to explore. They have so many different things. They have the ACES, the FASTER, the GRACE. These are different portals. And these are the actual user guides. So they didn't just give you access, they gave you a whole policy and procedure to go with it so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. They have so many different workshops and they have and they also provide support. So for the workshop that was in Pasadena, they would have actually given you $100 for gas if you just would have showed up. And I know people are like, what? Yeah, if you just would have showed up, they would have helped sponsor you through $100 just to help you get there, just so you can learn to take it back to your own university, which is wonderful. These are all the events that they are having upcoming and that they have already had. Please stay tuned for the news and look at what's going on. Remember to stay up to date. They also have careers and different things that you can look at coming up and about for your students or for yourself if you are thinking about changing as an information professional. The training though, if you come here, these are all the different workshops and things that you can do consulting or if you need advanced support, or if you can actually apply for an account, renew your account. You can look at short courses, workshops, and online training. And then, for example, online training, if you clicked, you would go and you would sign up, right? And you would enter your URL. And there's a little bit of red tape that you have to go to, but then it will open up everything for you. Additionally, if you wanted to look at other resources, you can just come here and it'll tell you all the software and the NSF resources that they have and the Aggie innovation platform that we have as well with the whole Aggie Cloud, AWS, Google platform, Microsoft platform, and other things that we do have available for you.
Miss Jory,
Yes, ma'am.
can you show us one more time how to navigate to the NARE pilot page from your LibGuide?
With the LibGuide here, if you go to NARE Pilot Resources and where it says about the NARE, you're going to right click and you're going to open in a new tab. Or if you wanted to specifically look at the resources for educators, you're going to right click and open in a new tab. Or for researchers, you're going to right click and open in a new tab. Or if you just want to see the data models, you're going to right click and open in a new tab. Projects, right click and open in the new tab and demonstrations. And then if you want to get to their YouTube channel, all you have to do is click here, watch on YouTube, and it will open.
If you want to start a profitable business or make more
up to some different platforms that's not their YouTube channel. Just something else. YouTube channel, and you're going to go all the way down to the very bottom. Actually, we'll go update the LibGuide and make sure this is on there for you.
Sound is dropping out just a little bit. It's not just for you, Tim. It's been going a little bit in and out, but for the most, but it's just become bad in the last minute.
My sound?
Yes.
Oh, it's because I need to speak up. I apologize. Thank you, Mr. Arnold. So you're going to right click and open in a new tab, and this will take you to the Nair About page. And if you want to go to the YouTube, it's all the way at the bottom, and then all of the allocations and resources are up here. But every single thing that you see in blue, or if you hover over it, if it has a line under it, it's a link to the Nair website. I'm really big on a one-click system. So I try to make sure that any information you can read here, I made sure to make sure that you can get there with one click. So that way no one gets lost in the sauce. But that's my time. I do want to open it up for for questions. And remember, you can always use all of these things to integrate these things into the classroom by using these AI tools to encourage critical thinking, to map ideas visually, to use in differentiating instruction or scaffolding, and just to teach students to self-critique. If you want to use the presentation harnessing generative AI and teaching people about why this is so effective, you can always use this presentation. I made it again, which is an AI platform. And here's a recap of my presentation from yesterday. Here's a survey just asking you, how do you use generative AI? It has been approved by the IRB at Prairie View A&M University. So I would love if you all would be willing to take it. Does anybody have any questions?
I do have a different survey link in the chat. Those are two different surveys. That survey link is just for us to kind of communicate with us about the TAMU VLC. This is very short survey, and we just appreciate if you do it for each talk that you come to. But yes, if you've got any questions, you can put them in the chat. You can unmute, and we can always get you. We can always get you email contact if you need to ask further questions after.
And let me put that in the chat.
Yes.
So I hope this is a wealth of information.
About the IRB survey, so two different ones.
Yeah, these are two different surveys, everybody. Anybody have any questions? That's my time, y'all. I dropped the mic. I felt like I know it was a lot of information. But please feel free to reach out to me. And please, please, please remember, go to these conferences, be hungry, learn about these things because of course, no problem, Miss Annie. Because as we move forward, this is just going to blow up. And I want us librarians to be at the forefront of it, right? Because I feel like they always call us at the end when they're having problems. It's like you should have called me at the beginning. Because we could have streamlined this because us librarians were such intelligent individuals and creatures. We can know everything about a little everything about anything, really. So thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Churchill. And thank you so much, Mr. Arnold. Thank you. But I really want you all to keep putting this into other people's ears and to know your resources because they're free.
All right, I think that we're gonna send you to lunch just like 2 minutes early. So thank you again, Miss Jory, and we're gonna have the recording up probably by tomorrow of this session. So I'm gonna stop the recording now.